If you've been online at all lately, you've probably seen or at least heard about Skibidi Toilet. Most people my age dismiss it as pure brainrot. So after sitting through 79 episodes, I'm here to tell you it's a little more complicated than that. Watching this whole series took me 3 days. Not because it's that long, but because it's not the kind of series that you can just binge watch on an afternoon. At least it wasn't for me. I had to watch it in chunks so that I didn't go insane. First of all, I'm aware that the whole premise about sinking human heads in toilets trying to conquer the world sounds stupid. Not to mention, there's the Alliance, aka the good guys in the story, that consists of the camera people, speaker people, and TV people. And in case you're wondering, yeah, the humans are almost all dead. The post-apocalyptic world in this series makes A Quiet Place look like a vacation spot. There's almost zero dialogue, so everything from plot twist to character development is told through pure action. It's basically Power Rangers on steroids, but with way more brutal consequences. This is where the biggest shock came for me, the violence. There isn't much blood and gore per se, but just the sheer amount of decapitations, amputations, getting burned alive, getting smashed and ripped into pieces. Boy, was there a lot of those. Oh, and the massive Titan battles? They look straight out of a Hollywood blockbuster. I'm talking Transformers level shit, with the largely bloodless violence of Zack Snyder's Sucker Punch. Like damn, this was so much better than I expected. We're talking one long single take style scenes that makes you feel like you're a soldier on the ground, and on some occasions, a straight up superhero. What starts as random nonsensical clips turn into a massive overarching world-building animation project that gets better and more creative as it goes. The Skibidi song, for example, isn't just a meme but a way to communicate between the toilets, kinda like the "I am Groot" lines from Guardians of the Galaxy. There's also a huge variety among the characters, from their sizes to their powers and gadgets. The bigger they are, the more powerful and durable they are, with an increasingly large arsenal. And boy, whenever these titans from both sides fight, it makes the fights in Pacific Rim look like a child with arthritis playing with his toys underwater. Together, these beings and their armies fight each other in almost every video in order to take control of the world. One thing that makes this series so immersive is that the camera is also its own character, which means the toilets and the Alliance can actually see and interact with this person, giving it a very video game type vibe, while also incorporating some suspense, since every time the character gets caught, it's followed up by a chase scene, and most of the time it ends pretty badly for the POV character. Even though this does get a bit repetitive at times, the creators do find a way to make it at least a bit more interesting, adding anything from effective jump scares to several close calls. There is a variety of emotions you can feel here, because the cameraman this time is not safe. I know it sounds weird, but there are several moments in this series about evil toilets where the creators use visual storytelling to develop characters, like when there are disagreements within the group that lead to hostility. This mostly happens when, in order to save more lives, certain characters make the choice to sacrifice a few. It's especially troublesome when the ones sacrificed were of a different race than the ones making the judgment call. It's a lose-lose situation. The best moment that executes this dynamic is in episodes 69 and 70, where the point of view cameraman and a red speaker man get into conflict with each other. All this and more regarding the emotional and mental state of a character is done visually, which makes this series much more cinematic than I initially expected. Even though the whole series is just a long battle, there are ways the creator makes it stay fresh for longer. The major one is the tactics the characters use to keep fighting, the fight choreography to be specific. A personal favorite detail for me was how the armies keep finding ways to use their enemies' technology against them in an organic way. Not only that, but they constantly adapt to each other's battle tactics and armory by using the technology they got from the defeated side to upgrade their own armor, weapons, and abilities. By the later episodes, their technologies have mishmashed so much that the Titan characters from one race can just replace some of their limbs by taking them from the other race. Like imagine if Optimus Prime ripped off an arm from Megatron and connected it to his own body. Details like these really develop the lore and make some of the fights absolutely breathtaking.
You're breathtaking!
Now, as popular as this series has become, clearly it's not for everyone, and even though I've mostly praised it so far, it's not without its flaws. A major one being that most of this content is very formulaic, and after some time, the story gets rather predictable. Right now, they have a new group of villains that look very intimidating, and I do love the character design, but that's about it. The story feels like it's going on a loop, where every couple episodes there's a new threat, whether it's an old enemy with upgrades, or literally a new breed of enemies from space, which forces the former enemies to team up and fight together. It's a tale as old as time. You've seen this over and over and over and over and over. The point is, this isn't anything new. To make matters worse, there are a lot of filler episodes that sometimes don't make any sense, especially in the beginning. Oh, and the Skibidi song gets annoying fast, even when it is used more sparingly in the later episodes. And finally, the plot armor, especially for the Titans. At worst, these characters either get mind controlled or very badly beaten, but there is almost no fight to the death kind of stakes. Everyone else dies, but not them. They have better luck than the characters from the final season of Game of Thrones. animals. All this and more is why I'd recommend skipping to the 24th episode if you ever plan on watching this series. It'll be like skipping all the boring human characters in a bad Godzilla movie and getting straight to the monster fights. I mean, the spectacle is, after all, the best part of the series. Nothing else comes close. Even the latest development in the story regarding some secret agent doesn't seem all that interesting to me personally. Sure, a lack of interest in the lore could also be because of how much time it takes for each episode to come out, to the point I've already forgotten what happened in the last 3 or 4 episodes. But then again, as someone who has been keeping up with the Fanfictisia series ever since their first episode 8 years ago, I don't think that's the issue. To sum everything up, is this a masterpiece? No. But it's not terrible either. It's simply an entertaining YouTube series that I hope ends on a high note, instead of clinging to its fame until it fades from popularity. It's no worse than what our parents must have thought about the shit we watched as kids. Like, remember the Teletubbies, Power Rangers, Augie and the Cockroaches, and God forbid, Back at the Barnyard, or some other not as good as you remember kids show. I don't have kids, but if I did, I think there are worse things to watch than this, like some stupid rage-bait prank channel on YouTube, and God forbid when they imitate them, or worse, idolize them. Like imagine kids idolizing the Pauls, the Kardashians, or some other hacks. Even a possibility of that is unnerving to say the least. However, if you do want your kid to watch something better than Skibidi Toilet, then you may have to watch at least some of them with it. So go watch movies like Paddington, or the old Disney and Pixar movies, or watch some Ghibli movies, watch some TV shows like Avatar The Last Airbender, Dexter's Laboratory, SpongeBob, and I don't know, Courage the Cowardly Dog? It was my favorite cartoon growing up, but it may be a bit creepy for some. Then again, if your children are watching Skibidi Toilet, their threshold for creepy cartoons is already much higher than you realize. Anyway, that's it for now. Please leave a like and subscribe with the notification bell on. Thank you everyone for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.